Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Tracy. Hi. I'd like to do a video today on Richard Trenton Chase. He was considered the vampire of Sacramento. He's a serial killer from the 1970s. If you like this content, please watch my videos. If you'd like it, give me a like and please subscribe to my channel. There is a trigger warning. I do talk about the murder of small children, so please be advised of that. I try not to get into details about things that were done, but I do talk about the murder and of these individuals, so please be advised. Richard Trenton Chase was born May 23rd, 1950, and died December 26th, 1980. He was born in Sacramento, California. When he was young, he was a very disturbed child. He was known to set fires, wet the bed, and torture small animals. Once he got older, he started drinking and using drugs very often. Uh, as he got older, he developed hypochondria, which is a condition in which a person is excessively and unduly worried about having some sort of serious illness. He often complained to people that his heart would stop beating or that someone had stolen his pulmonary artery. Richard lived with his mother until he thought she was trying to poison him, and then he moved out with some friends who had complained about his odd behavior and eventually moved out and said that he was always under the influence of alcohol and drugs and would walk around his apartment nude. And that's when he began to torture and kill small animals and would eat them raw, mixing the organs with Coca-Cola in a blender and drinking the concoction, saying that he believed that if he ingested it, he would prevent his heart from shrinking. In 1973, he spent a brief time in a psychiatric ward but was released. In 1976, after injecting rabbit blood in his veins, he was committed to a mental institute where he was nicknamed Dracula because of the things he did while he was in the institute and the blood fixation he had. Uh, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia while he was in there, paranoid schizophrenia. But after being treated with psychotropic drugs, which the psychotropic drugs is a chemical substance that changes functions of the nervous system that allows um, the perception and mood, consciousness, cognitive behavior changes. Um, Richard was said he was no longer a danger to society and released in 1976 to his mother. Uh, Richard's first known victim was a drive-by shooting victim by the name of Ambrose Griffith, who was 51 years old. He was an engineer and father of two. On December the 29th, 1977, 2 weeks later, he attempted to break into the home of a woman, but her doors, fortunately, were locked, and he was discouraged and left. Richard broke into the house of Teresa Wallen on January 23rd, 1978, who was 3 months pregnant at the time, and shot her 3 times. Then he sexually assaulted her and done graphic things that I will not get into detail about before leaving. And then on January the 27th, he broke into 38-year-old Evelyn Myra's house. He ran into her friend Danny Meredith and shot him with a .22 caliber handgun, and then he fatally shot Myra's and her 6-year-old son Jason and her 22-month-old nephew David Ferrara before mutilating and engaging in necrophilia and cannibalism on her corpse. Someone came to her door and knocked, which startled him, caught him by surprise, and Richard fled in her car, taking Ferrara and his body with him. The person that alerted he alerted a neighbor, and who alerted the police, who found Richard had left complete handprints and shoe prints in Mary's blood. Richard was arrested there shortly after. In 1979, he pleaded not guilty, but stood trial on 6 accounts of murder. Later, to avoid the death penalty, His defense team tried to have him found guilty on second-degree murder, which he would have received life in prison if he could prove he was mentally ill at the time of his crimes. But and they were not premeditated. But on May 8th, 1979, the jury found Richard guilty of 6 counts of first-degree murder, rejecting the argument that he was not guilty by reason of insanity, and sentenced him to die in the gas chamber. But on December 26, 1980, Richard was found dead from an overdose of prescribed medicines. He had um, committed suicide. And there's not a lot known except that those simple facts about him. You can look it up and find other things about him. There's not too much that's known about him. But I thank you for your time, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for your time.